Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this Warcraft Rumble dungeon guide, I'm going to take a look at Gnomeregan on an Alliance week, and especially armies for Tirion Fordring, both with and without talents. First, a quick recap of the dungeon mechanics. The first boss, Crowd Pummeler, has a whirlwind attack that's going to throw your minis away, as well as a ranged attack that's going to throw your minis away. When flying minis get thrown off the ledge, they can fly back, but when ground minis are thrown off the ledge, they are gone. They just instantly get evaporated. There's also these Gnomish protection devices here, and if you leave a Gnomish protection device out there for a while, then the boss is going to get a free save pilot that's going to come and pick it up. So you want to pick them up at least sometimes. But the main strategy here overall is taking this meeting stone and then start sending ranged units from this side and from this side. So you're just pummeling the boss from both sides. Alternatively, something like Whelpeg's spam, save pilot spam, can also deal a bunch of damage to the boss, but the ranged units from two sides is the main strategy for this one. The second boss, Electrocutioner, is just pure misery. I don't even know about this boss. It just keeps sending waves after waves after waves of stuff at you. There's just so much stuff. Also, the boss has 2 rocket towers, and do note that after the recent balance patch, rocket towers now deal siege damage, which is physical damage. So there are these poison fumes, which is elemental damage. The boss itself is elemental damage, but these rocket towers, the rockets themselves, are now physical damage. So fire elemental is actually terrible here now, because these rocket towers just eat it alive really, really quickly. And between the mix of elemental and physical damage in this map, it's just really hard to find minis that are tanky enough. Either way, you will need to take some towers. You can take towers with gargoyles, with sappers, with meat wagons, with life-stealing abominations, for example. There's a few ways that you can grab some towers. You really want to take both towers as soon as possible, then start pushing at the boss. Quillboar, for example, can tank the boss for ages because it's resistant, so that's good, because otherwise the boss is just going to evaporate a lot of minis that you have. You want to try to push from multiple lanes, get some resistant tanks so that you can get some hits in, and hopefully you will be able to get the boss down, but there's just so much stuff coming at you that it's going to be really, really tricky. And finally, there's the third boss, Mekgineer Thermaplugg, which is probably the most boring boss out of all dungeon bosses. Mekgineer Thermaplugg itself cannot be damaged, but there are these amp switches. Summons a walking bomb when captured, cannot be claimed by flying. So these are going to pop up on both sides. You want to burst them open, and then bombs will go over there and hit the boss. If boss's minions pop them open, bombs will come at your base. Your base can also be damaged by boss's minions, but you cannot damage the boss with your minions. So you're just going to play a game of whack-a-mole, left and right and left and right. Send minis to both sides, try to cover as much of the zone as possible so that you get to break the switches first, and in the meantime also try to mine as often as you can. Every time you get to the cycle where you get your kobold miner, then just mine. Try to be wary that the boss doesn't send their minis on the side where you're trying to mine, because then there's a prowler coming, for example, then it might kill your miner and you miss out on that gold. So pay a little bit of attention to that, and then it's just a big game of whack-a-mole. And this is my basic Tirion army for Gnomeregan. I'm using Safe Pilot, Defiance Bandits, Gargoyle, Quillboar, Plague Farmer, and Pyromancer. With this army in the first map, I have Plague Farmer and Pyromancer, so I have 2 good range units, so that I'm just sending range units from both sides to overwhelm the boss. I can also deal some damage with Safe Pilot if necessary. Safe Pilot Quillboar give me a couple of unbounds. Bandits can be good at opening chests, and Gargoyle can also attack at the boss, because Gargoyle cannot be thrown away from the platform, but its importance is really minor. You're most just handling the boss with these 2. Then in the second map, that's where Gargoyle gets to shine, because Gargoyle is one of the key tools in taking towers. So you're going to spend Gargoyle to take tower whenever you can. And then beyond that, you're just trying to get your Plague Farmers, get your Pyromancers to shoot at the boss, and Quillboar to turn the boss around so that it will be able to tank the boss hits, while these are going to be in dealing the damage. And there's not much to talk about with the third boss. You're just throwing minis left and right and left and right and try to catch all the switches. Other than that, I have played this with a couple of variations. I have also played this with Flameburst Whelpex instead of Pyromancer, but I do prefer Pyromancer over the Whelpex. However, if you want to use the same army with Maiev and with Jaina, and you can, then Maiev and Jaina cannot buff Plague Farmer and Pyromancer simultaneously, so then you would use Whelpex instead of the Pyromancer, and that's actually pretty good with Maiev, because that's another runbound for Maiev teams. So then there's that, but overall I have come to prefer Pyromancer above the eggs. I've also tried with Griffin Rider instead of the Device Bandits. That's another possible alteration that you can make, but I think I prefer the Bandits overall. And if you happen to get the Lifesteal Relic, then the Lifesteal mini choice I have currently is Abomination. Abomination does need some support, but Tirion is perfectly capable of healing Abomination, so in a Tirion army, Abomination with Tirion healing is just going to kill the second boss. I have not been able to find success with Fire Elemental against the physical damage rocket towers that exist currently. But those are basically the ideas. This team works also without any talents. I actually have an orange clear here to show you without any talents. And then I have one pretty high red clear with some lifesteal goodies, and still using the eggs and the Griffin Rider in that one, but I have since changed those to these. And that's the army for Tirion, and just putting in Whelpex here, then this can also be played with Jaina and can also be played with Maiev. But I'm still looking if I can find something stronger for those two leaders. And this is what it all looks like in action. So here we go, Crowd Pummeler, orange difficulty with no talents with Tirion. I'm trying to grab the Meeting Stone early, because that Meeting Stone is really a key piece, because that's where I want to send my minis. I also want to send minis to capture both chests if at all possible. So here we grab one with the Plague Farmer, trying to catch the other the Defiance Bandits, and thanks to them grabbing the shield they are successful. Then there's going to be a bit of a battle for the Meeting Stone. Tirion doing some tanking. Yeah, good job Tirion, good job. And alright. Looks like I will be able to win the Meeting Stone. I hope. Meanwhile, on the other side, we can see some chickens with the shield coming in. Well, luckily I have Tirion to tank them, so they didn't get to eat away my base. Anyway, now I'm already focused on starting to get some attack going. Just range minis from both sides. We had a little bit of a safe pilot incident with safe pilot killing all of my range minis from the other side. But there's still the other side remaining. Plague Farmer needs to pick up the shield. That's nice. I just need to wait so that my Pyromancer is not destroyed by the ranged attack. That shield, as long as the shield holds, Plague Farmer has a field day there. And just from both sides. Here I'm sending Plague Farmer and Pyromancer from the left. There's Pyromancer coming from the right. So when the boss is caught in this crossfire, then it just will not have enough time to catch all of the minis. And then Safe Pilot handled the Griffin Rider. I could drop some Quillbores out there to tank the boss, and the boss is just going down. So now that we're done with the warm-up, it's time to fight the Electrocutioner. Yeah, about that. So I'm trying to tone down a little bit the initial attack from the center, because this time it seemed that the center was the chosen attack line, so it wouldn't be quite as powerful. And as soon as possible, I'm trying to get a gargoyle to attack a tower. Gargoyles are actually even better now than they were before, because the towers now deal physical damage and gargoyle is armored, which means that gargoyle is just going to tank that tower quite well. However, there were a bunch of other minis also hitting at the gargoyle, so yeah, it ended up taking a bunch of damage there. Sometimes I've had better success, but sometimes this is just a very punishing map overall. Anyway, we managed to get one tower down, but sadly we lose all of the minis there. But luckily I have the Whelpex relic. That's going to help a little bit. I'm trying the Safe Pilot to aid. A little bit too late. But maybe just barely. Right, I would really need to get this first tower taken, because I would need to attack the second tower already, and I am now sending a gargoyle out there. Device Bandits are really nice against all of these Harvest Golems, for example, because Device Bandits stun them. So even though Harvest Golem is trying to get some damage done, Device Bandits get some stuns in, so that's just going to limit the amount of damage the Harvest Golem is able to make. Just really, really sweet. There's a troll. Look, they have a cave troll again. It's a struggle, and often even when you take the towers, there's so many minis coming to take them back that it's really difficult to hold them. Like here, I just struggle to hold this. Obviously, this is an untalented run, so if I had talents, I would have significantly more damage because most talents add more damage. And that will make taking towers, holding towers, all of that much easier. But then again, of course, then we would go to higher levels and then would be in as difficult of a position eventually anyway. Well, I'm still trying to work on those towers. Sometimes you can just also start attacking from one side, even though you don't have the other tower. But it is a little bit dangerous, because there can be really big pushes coming from the tower, and one big solid push from the AI is typically enough to just destroy your entire base. So not having the towers can be an issue. And there I was in quite a bit of trouble. Yeah, that didn't really work out with the Pyromancer. I got it killed for nothing. We're almost at overtime and life is miserable, but it's not over. I now have both towers, and overtime is actually a very important part of this map typically. You often end up going to overtime, and at overtime you can spam the enemy. For example, if you run the Flame build, then you can just spam so many whelps on the enemy. But here, of course, I don't have that, so I'm just trying to get stuff in, and then I'm going to try to use Quillboar to tank. That's my plan. Get minis in and get Quillboar to tank. That's what I'm trying to do. How successful I am doing that, well, that's another matter. And but there's Quillboar tanking, and as you can see, Quillboar can really take some hits from that boss, because that boss is purely elemental damage. Again, Quillboar tanks, I'm sending safe pilots, I'm sending plague farmers, I'm sending all the DPS I can from this tower now with Quillboar tanking. That's basically, that's the plan. Just drop Quillboars out there, tank it, poison it, and beat it. And finally there's Mekgineer Thermaplugg. Very dull boss, I have to say. I have sometimes managed to lose this. This is not a guaranteed victory. Like, if you mess things up a little bit and, for example, some of the minis get to start shooting at your base, then you need to get even more of those bombs in order to compensate. But most of the time, you just drop stuff left and right and left and right, and mine whenever you can, and then the game just ends. So that's how this typically goes. I was trying to turn that around so that my plague farmer wouldn't die, but well, that went quite alright actually. Sending the miner on the left side now, because there's a major threat on the right side that would probably kill the miner. But I'm getting a Tirion out there to tank a little bit. Now that I have the miner, I have better income going. Some switches are up. I'd like to get them down. Ogre Mage manages to break one, but that's okay. As you can see from the health bars, we're comfortably in the lead. So as long as I just keep doing what I'm doing for another minute or so, then that should be it. Yep, breaking the switches 1 and 2 and getting the miner out there. That mining is really important. You need that steady gold income, because only with that steady gold income you can keep sending minis to both sides frequently enough. So that's a thing. Bandits being really sweet here, because they're such cheap ground-based mini and they're really getting the job done. Good job from the Pyromancer, grabbing the grabbing the switches there and... Alright, we're almost at the end. Just a little bit more and Mekgineer falls. So, that's Gnomeregan. Let's see a little bit about how this is going to go. Okay, this should be fine. Tirion can come in and heal the abomination a little. Good, good, good. So far, so good. We give it a little bit of air support. We get to mine, which is nice. I like to mine. We start poisoning the boss. That's something we're going to do a lot. We're going to be poisoning that boss. Just look at the poison. Boom. Okay. That one to shoot from behind. This one can come in here too. Does a little bit. This goes against the troll. And this should be the tools I need. Should. Might not be though. Does the abomination have what it takes? I can send Tirion to help it. A little bit of help from Tirion. Alright. We have secured the first tower. Alright, one tower secured. Wonderful. There's a Tirion out here as well. Alright, alright. This time for sure. This time for sure. I'm telling you. This is the time when we're actually going to make it. Go, 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 go. Go, team. This is more like it. This is what I remember this game to be all about. Yeah. Boom. Abomination Tirion. Left and right and left and right. Eat the eggs there. I need to find my miner. Miner would be important. Miner is coming next. I'm gonna send that over there and miner over here. I can even steal that. Steal that vat over there. It's trying to be slow. Not too slow. I need another miner out there. Mining is important. Have to send a new abomination on this side. Abomination is actually really good in this one. Because it's so slow. It takes ages to reach the boss. Because once it reaches the boss, it dies. When it doesn't reach the boss, it doesn't die. There, you can see. Reach the boss and you're dead. And you have another abomination here. Mine on that side. Everything's looking good. Drop one of these over there. Boom. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.